Man, I will give a shout out to all of those that showed up this morning. It was a tough coaching call in the way that we talked on the topic of failure, and so there's a number of people on this call right now that were part of that coaching call and admitted to certain things that had contributed to lack of success in the future, which is great because that's the first step of transformation. So kudos to you guys that got uncomfortable, stepped up, contributed, and now know what they need to do to move forward. So shout out to them.
Love that. Love that. Who else can we give a shout out to, guys?
Yeah, Aaron, I got two. I want to call out my boy Doug, who hit tier 2 at the end of last week. So I'm excited for him. And I also give a big shout out to my man Chris, who stepped in at the last minute to give me a presentation last night. I haven't talked to them yet, but real good presentation. A lot of questions Chris was able to handle, and hopefully we'll get that one wrapped up here today or tomorrow.
Good stuff. Thank you.
That's awesome, buddy. Good to have you on here, by the way. I'll give a shout out. I'll echo Doug, tier 2. He's one of our newest ones. Also, Patrick, who I don't know was able to get on or not, but just popped tier 2. We had 2 new tier 2s last week, which is freaking awesome. The cool part too, because of the training system that we're building, guys, both of these tier 2s feel very comfortable running most of the deals coming their way now after just doing 3. Like, it shows the mentor training program is really, really working, which is awesome. Want to give a shout out to Julio. I'm not sure if he is on here yet, but he had his first deal under contract a few days ago. So that's exciting. And then a massive shout out to Bryce. I don't know if he is on here, but he and I just wrapped up a 35 minute long Zoom onboarding a brand new Enterprise Pro user. This person owns a commercial solar company that does, if we were to compare those numbers to residential, what it would be over 1,000 installs a year. Him and his team are coming on board out of Texas and are freaking fired up. To say that conversation will change Bryce's life would be an understatement, my friends. And if anybody, once we open this up, wants to have a convo about the rev share numbers for something like that, game changing, like absolute game changing. Other cool part about that, sorry, I get hyped, is those conversations are high level. Business people get it. Like, once they see the model, they can't object to it. It's more about how do we fit it into our ecosystem. So anyway, massive shout out to Bryce, which is really cool. Any other last minute shout outs? We have time for 1 or 2 more.
Yeah, I wanted to do a shout out to Chuck Dade, my new seller from Massachusetts.
Awesome. Welcome. Team's growing in Mass.
New Bedford, Massachusetts, home of Moby Dick.
Hey, real quick, I'll throw one in there. This is 3 separate people, but I'll kind of go through them real quick. Big shout out to Joe. She does an amazing edification, by the way. So if you guys want to know how to nail the edification, reach out to Joe. She does a great job with it. And Cody and Eric, who have been just on fire lately, just funneling bills into the system and setting up those opportunities. Great job, guys.
That's awesome. I 100% agree on Joe. Every time see, I'm so used to presenting, I grabbed the wrong slide. I apologize. Yeah, it's a masterclass. She does it, and also it's very organic, Chris.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem. I wish I could merge that call. Well, I just did it again. Excuse me, guys. I apologize.
Well, I got one more shout out, Aaron. I'm going to do it, and I named it a solar social, and I'm pushing it back 2 more weeks because of the hurricane and everyone's just too busy. But anyone in the West Florida area, like what's his name? I was just talking to, you're all invited. And I got a pool, I got solar on my house, I got a 25-foot screen outside. The kids are welcome. I got a barbecue. We're going to make hamburgers and hot dogs. We're going to ask the guests to bring like a side dish, a little bit of potluck, so they feel like they're part of it. And we're going to try to create a local culture here for our team in West Florida. So I'm very, very excited. And I got about 15 guests.
Awesome.
Who've told me they're coming as soon as I have it. And I'm excited about that.
That's awesome, Mitch. I am struggling with a slide deck right now, guys. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So we just did the team shout outs. Appreciate all of that. Mentor Factory, we're going to keep, Chris and I are going to keep plugging this thing until everybody knows about it. And at least if you didn't want to do it, lean in. You can't say it wasn't because Chris and I didn't shake you and tell you, but it's not for everybody. So I get it. We just want to make sure everyone knows about it that is there. We did launch our official Facebook page. Chris, I'll go ahead and throw a wrench at you that I just discovered. We were going to launch this Wednesday at 11:30, had planned for it. We're actually going to have to push it to later in the day because we have a masterclass that we're going to talk about that will be a conflict. We want to make sure everyone gets that information, of course, from the CEO. But if you want access to the Mentor Factory, you are wanting to become a mentor at some point. You are wanting to lean in. You are wanting to be held accountable. You're wanting to lead others. And once again, that's not for everyone, right? And that's okay. If that is you and you're not in that group, and you would know if you are, make sure you reach out to your sponsor or let us know on the Facebook chat. We can make sure we get you added to that group. But we're really, really excited about it. I know this is going to be a game changer for a lot of people. We have our Monday night recruiting call that we always talk about, right? Very, very important. It's one of our big blocks. It's our national recruiting call. However, this Monday, tonight is in Spanish. It is only in Spanish. There will not be an English translation. Doesn't mean you shouldn't invite to it. We all would like to have a massive team that speaks a bunch of different languages. I know I do. So if you know anyone that does speak Spanish, please invite them. It's the same link, powerhour.com. For anyone like me that is not fluent in Spanish, you most likely would not understand this presentation. There will not be any translations whatsoever. But I want to make sure that is on everyone's radar. If you guys could throw in the chat that you understand this, because last time they did it last quarter, we had a bunch of people that had guests on that were not able to understand. I want to make sure that does not happen this time around. But that is 8 p.m. Eastern on powerhour.com. Career-specific Zooms. This is another really, really exciting one. I talked to Irene, who oversees the marketing department this morning. We will have a flyer for this coming for this event coming this Thursday, but I would ask you guys to save the date. Put it on your calendars now. It is October 24th, 25th, and 26th. If you were going to block a time, I would block 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I'm pretty confident that's the time of these Zooms. But I'm really excited. Our team played a big part in this with the field president, Mr. Bobby Smith, just because of our previous company that did this. We had a massive success. We really blew out some recruiting numbers. And so how this looks is, and I don't know which day's which, so don't hold me to it. One of the days will be targeted towards real estate agents, right? So we're going to give you guys language. We're going to have speakers and presenters that are speaking real estate jargon. So it's going to talk to them, which is huge. So you want to make sure you'll save the date for that, start inviting. We're going to have another one for HVAC and anyone that works on a home. And then I think the final one is going to be roofers and enterprise pro users, which would be really cool. So this is going to be an amazing event. 3 full days of action-packed recruiting. Super excited about it. And I'll have more information that I'll share on the Facebook chat on Thursday of this week after our big meeting. Cool. So we have a masterclass immersive coming up to Wednesday, October 5th. So save the date. If somebody could throw this in the chat for me. October 5th, it's 12 to 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific. That is a mouthful. We had a special training lined up. Mr. Bud is doing he's calling an audible, and I applaud him for it. This masterclass will be everything solar financing with all of the recent changes that have just happened over the past week, over the past 2 weeks, over the past month. I mean, it seems to ever be changing. And so he's going to have a deep dive on this, a 4-hour training. What I'm super excited about, though, is all 3 of the top lending partners of ours, all 3 of their CEOs are going to be on this call as well. And they're going to be there with their top leadership team, taking a deep dive on which of their loan products they believe are going to be the best fit for all of our clients over the next couple of weeks, over the next couple of months, if things tend to stabilize, which we just don't know as it's ever moving. So please make sure you block this portion of the day. If you're at work, I get it. Hop on. If it could be 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there, you got to get off for a little while. Do whatever you need to do, but try to be around the information so that you're aware, so that you can soak it up and take it out to the marketplace. One question I get every time we do one of these, so please, all you do is go to power.com. On that little blue bar that pops out on the left when you hover your mouse over it. At the very bottom, you will see Power Live. If it prompts you to log and to sign up, it's just because you're not logged in. This is all included now with our membership, which is amazing. And so you'll click that. It'll say, do you want to join the English speaking room or the Spanish speaking room? And that is it. It is that simple. It is going to be an awesome masterclass. Any questions on that, guys? No? Okay, cool. Let me stop sharing. Chris Hart, are you still on here, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Let me, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this because they just called that audible, but I do want to show you guys a couple things that Chris and I have really been playing with regarding financing. And Chris, you didn't know I was going to do this, so I'm glad you're here. I know you had a potential schedule conflict. Can everybody see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna do my best not to scroll up to show any names, as this is a real life proposal that I'm running as a mentor for one of our teammates this afternoon, evening. So for any of you guys that have done a proposal, and I hope for goodness sake that you have, because like I say all the time, this is when this becomes real. I see it happen all the time for people. In fact, Julio, who I gave a shout out to, we did his last week. Literally within 30 minutes of him logging off doing his own, he already had a bill. He understood it more. It just became really, really real for him. So as you can see, guys, you can select your loan options here. I want to show you a few things that we look at as we're trying to help piece together this puzzle, because every single client is so unique. And I don't want to get lost too much in this, like I said, because we're going to have that big masterclass on Wednesday. So over here, this is one of my default loans right now, where if I don't know a lot about them, I'm going to tend to be here for most people, right? I know it's pretty vague, pretty vanilla. But that, so until we do that needs analysis, until we're having that live, either the call leading up to it, or we're doing the needs analysis on the actual proposal, I just don't know a bunch of information yet. But what I want to show you, so down here, this is a 25-year 299. As you guys know, the 199s are no longer here. You can see their payment is $237, but it's not all about the payment, right? Chris and I talk about this all the time. For some of our savvy clients, they're more concerned about the loan value. Right? Why would someone be more concerned about having a lower loan value versus a payment? Anybody know real quick? Chris?
I do.
Go ahead.
Mitch.
Real quick answer though, guys. I gotta keep flowing.
Oh, well, if the interest rate's a little higher, the dealer fee is lower. So the payment might be the same. If people say to you, they're going to only be in the house 4, 5, 6 years.
Exactly.
It's better to go with a little bit higher interest rate, because the early payoffs will be a lower amount. In the long run, if they plan on being there 25 years, the lower interest rates are better. But if the best we can do is 299, then that's the way it is.
Yep, love it, Mitch. Yeah, and so for me, the quick blink on that is if someone either is not going to be in the property very long, or they love paying things off early, typically you want to go with a higher rate, lower loan amount. But I want to show you guys how simple this is. Terry, can I ask you a favor? Can you write down these figures for me? So we have a 25-year 299.
Okay, 25-year.
299 is 237 a month with a loan amount of 69.5. So I want to show you guys this in real time. You get it, Terry?
237, 69.5. Okay.
Yes, sir. So I'm going to keep it on Good Leap, guys, just to keep it really simple. So I'm going to show you another product that I have a feeling they're going to be talking about tomorrow. Okay.
Did you mean fast pay or flex pay?
I'm at Flex.
You mean fast pay?
I mean fast, yes.
Okay. Next one down. 599.
Here we go. Okay, cool. We can do it 499. Okay, so what I want to show you real quick is look at the payment. So the payment before was what, Terry?
237.
237. So this is a new product they're going to be announcing, and obviously you can play with the 499 or 59. What this is 60 months of no interest. So this is the lending companies trying to do their best to help keep payments down low for your monthly payment friendly shoppers, which is really, really important. So you have a 181, and then on month 60, when they start to incorporate interest, including the reamortization of the tax credit, you're at 265. So I want to show you the loan amount here. We're at 72, and what was it before, Terry?
69.5.
69.5. So it went up $3,000 in loan amount. And then I want to show you one other one that Mr. Bud on Friday said is his personal favorite right now.
Hold on 1 second, Aaron.
And that's
Yep.
paid off in 5 years.
No, that's what that is your first 5 months are interest free. So
Correct.
you're not paying interest on those first 60 months. And then months 61 through 300, that's when the APR interest rate starts to get factored in.
Oh, I see.
So that's a really good
It's
product
a
for anybody.
25-year no- It's a 25-year note.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
But so watch this real quick though.
But if you
So-
want to pay it off early, you can, right?
You can, yep. So, but look at this. Obviously, there's a conversation I'm gonna have with this potential home sell client today. He's currently at 207 on average. This loan would have him at 181. He's gonna get super excited about that. At the 5-year mark, when it jumps, right? Because some buyers are like, oh, tell me about the jump. He's at 265. Let's just do the 5-year here with only 4% appreciation. He's at 252. I mean, this is a really good loan, in my opinion, for people who are really trying to keep that monthly as low as they possibly can. It gives them a really good window to re-amortize, to do whatever they need to do. So I really like this product as well. 599 is going to have slightly lower dealer fees. Then I want to show you guys the Sunlight.
Sorry, Aaron, was the first Good Leap one, the 25-year 2.99, that was just straight. It wasn't
Straight, yep.
pay, fast pay, anything. Okay.
Yep. And you know, depending on the mentor you use, obviously we all have our favorites that we tend to go to. I truly base mine, I know Chris does, on the client. If the client is very savvy, I'm going to show them more options. If it's someone that is, you know, they're just talking about the monthly, we're going to keep it really simple. We're not here to overwhelm or anything like that. I just want to make sure you guys know that this is here so that you can start playing with it. Because I wish I had done this earlier. You start to grasp it. You start to grow in the conversations around you much quicker. So this Sunlight 25-year 299, we're at 218. What was the other 299, Terry?
237.
237. So as Mr. Budd pointed out, this has the lowest dealer fees for a 299 of any product we have. He believes for the next several weeks. They do have a bump coming, I want to say on the 10th, but even with that bump, it is going to be lower than Mosaic and lower than Good Leap for this loan. So we're at 218. It doesn't change. You're locked there. And this takes us down to 64.3. What was the other 299? 69?
69.5.
So you got $5,000 less in dealer fees, same interest rate, and you're saving about $20 a month. Really good product here. One thing we got to be careful about, though, you'll notice there are 2 buttons here instead of 1. Anybody else pick up on that?
I did, and I was going to ask why.
Yep. So what this is a pre-qual, just like the other ones, where you're going to go through there and ask them the questions very similar to the other one. If they are qualified, we hope they are, you then need to qualify them. Mosaic and Good Leap are what are called soft pools. Does not affect the credit. This is a hard pool. It is a hard pool, so it is different. Is this
Even
going
the
to be?
pre-qualify is a hard pull?
No.
No, but you cannot get the loan documents until you hit this qualify button. So it will be a hard pull today when you want to qualify somebody. They want you to start here, so we're not hard pulling somebody without knowing anything about them. So I applaud them for at least adding that second step. But yeah, it will be a hard pull, and that is different compared to the other loans.
And are there situations where people will qualify for one financing company, like qualify for Good Leap and not Sunlight and vice versa?
Yeah, 100%. Definitely. They'll be discussing this tomorrow too, but I would definitely go. Come again?
Okay.
I would definitely go to knowledge base, and you can type it in there, type in Mosaic, Good Leap, and now Sunlight. Those are gonna be the main 3 that most of us are using, and they'll give you their terms, whether it's like Good Leap, for instance, will go down to a 600 FICO. They both record family income differently. So definitely you want to make sure you know those products. Anybody who is brand new, don't get lost in the sauce. We're painting a picture on what you're going to grow into, just so that you guys and gals know that's there. But great question, Maureen.
Hey,
But also, when you're doing the pre-qual, that does not actually count as a proposal, correct? You're just playing around with different financing options, right?
Yeah, correct. Anytime you're messing there, yeah, you're only going to hit pre-qual when you're actually on the call with your client, to where you go through that. So feel free to do that. And Katie, I'm glad you said that real quick. Something I teach on my mentee, the training call we do prior to the Zoom. This is really important, guys. This button up here. If your mentor has already edited the proposal, either you guys did it together, you asked he or her to go do it. I still want you logging in there playing. I really do. I think the more time you're in here messing around with it, the more apt you're going to be to use it. Your belief, everything changes. Click here. It says toggle autosave. Everyone on this call can go geek out on one of your proposals. At the very end, it's going to prompt you, do you want to save? And you just push no. Maureen, I made you an admin. You can help me mute. That's all you have to do. This is a really cool button. All my mentees are doing it. I'll notice I log in and I see it checked, which means they're playing with it, which as a mentor makes me super, super happy. Chris, I see your hand up.
Yeah, a couple things. One, I'll dovetail off of this real quick. If you scroll up to where the equipment is on the left-hand side, why is this important? Because if you go over there to inverter, click on where it says Solar Edge, right? Most people have no idea what all these things are. If you start playing around with those and you click on one and it auto saves and you don't remember what inverter is matched to the system, you're in a, hopefully your mentor knows how to resize it back to the right inverter. So if you're going to play with equipment and that sort of thing, just make sure that that auto save is off. But the other thing with the two main ones, Mosaic and GoodLeap, that I think is really important to understand for those of you guys that desire to be a tier 2 and tier 3, is that GoodLeap, the main fundamental difference between GoodLeap and Mosaic is not so much the numerics or the economics, but GoodLeap allows you to re-amortize every year of the loan as long as you make a minimum $2,500 contribution to the principal every year. So what that means is every year, if your client sends in $2,500 to GoodLeap, they'll re-amortize that loan and the monthly payment will go down. Mosaic only allows you to do it once, and that's within the first 18 months. Okay, so that's a big determining factor. If you have someone that is concerned about monthly payment and they get bonuses, or they're a business owner, or they want to contribute money on a more regular basis, GoodLeap's a great product to go with. Mosaic is really good because they do allow for total annual household income that does not require it to be familial in nature, just as long as they live in the house. So
Chris, when you're talking about that $2,500 payment, is the homeowner actually penalized if for some reason they actually skip maybe 1 or 2 payments, but then actually do a lump sum payment? Is
Yes.
their amortization actually hindered?
Understand something. When they take out a loan, it's just like any other loan. You commit to 300 payments on time every month. It's just like a house. Pay, you stay, don't, you won't. And when you don't pay, it is going to affect your credit score. So that re-amortization is not designed for people to miss payments. That's just an added bonus, an extra licky or chewy per se, to allow the financials to be more attractive for someone who purchases solar.
But what does ITC mean?
30%
3% ITC?
income tax credit.
Yeah,
Okay.
30%.
Income tax credit.
Yeah. And the other thing too, guys, a lot of tier 1s on this call, which I love. And some of you might be way over your head. I know it was for me, so no judgment. This is just some of the conversations we got to be around so that we can really start to get better. As a tier 1, as a tier 2, tier 3, really all of us. One thing I'm taking to the marketplace right now is obviously you're not going to go to a new client talking about how rates just jumped, right? We don't want to talk about what they missed, but it's talking about we're in a volatile time right now. I know that the rates right now are great. We got some amazing products for those that take action. That's the message I'm taking to the marketplace right now, right? So it's still like the fact they had to raise rates, and I get it. The fact they're coming out with these cool products, trying to, make the numbers better for those who are monthly conscious and all that sort of stuff. I applaud them for doing that. They're doing the best they can. And I'm super, super excited for that class tomorrow where they can really take a deep dive on all of it. But yeah, we can open it up. Chris, were you saying something?
Yeah, I just think the other piece to understanding this as a tier 1 is not so much that you're out in the field, trying to advise people on financing before the proposal. It's that you have a base of understanding so that when your mentor is navigating the financing, you're deepening your learning process because you have the foundation of understanding. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Great point. Yeah, Jabari.
Yeah, I'm loving the dialogue. I'm over here just kind of quiet and observing, kind of a fly on the wall. I'm loving this. But to Chris's point, those of you that are still new, tier 1, you're still learning. I really don't want you guys to think that you got to go be a financial expert at all. I really just want you all to focus on just getting that electric bill, just being confident, having that posture. Your mentor is going to help you to select the right financing once the presentation starts. That's when we're really designing it. And like Aaron said in the beginning, a lot of times we don't know. Let me back up for a second. When the proposals come back from engineering, from design, there's no financing attached, there's no adders selected, there's no warranties, because the designers don't know if you have a client that wants to pay it off in 5 years or 10 years or 20 years or 30. No one knows, right? So it's up to us, the mentor, to do that qualification at the beginning of the presentation. And then we start kind of drilling down to what is the most custom solution for the homeowner, right? That's all going to happen in that 60-minute session, believe it or not. And if you haven't seen a presentation yet, you probably can't imagine what we're talking about. But once you've seen it, then you realize that we go through and we customize their solution based on, they may make little comments. Yeah, we're gonna move from this house in 7 years or 10 years. So we now, that's a trigger for us. Like, okay, let me go adjust the financing to the one that makes the most sense for you. Okay. But if you're a brand new tier 1 seller, don't think that you got to figure all this stuff out before you even close your first deal. Let us help you with that. Back to you, Aaron.
Great point, man. It's all about taking action. It really is. I know I've talked to Joe recently, taken massive action over the last 2 weeks. I guarantee, I'll speak for her, she learned more in 2 weeks than she did the first month here. It's something magical about hopping on a proposal, watching people navigate the questions we get asked, regardless of even if they don't get signed. I mean, that is a masterclass in education. I'm telling you. Yeah, just take action. Let's go ahead and open it up to the Fireside chat. You guys can take it anywhere, high level, broad topics, so nothing like supermarket specific. We want to make sure we use everybody's time wisely. It can stay on financing, it can go to recruiting, it can go wherever you guys want to go. Who wants to come off mute and ask their first question to the group?
I have a question, Aaron.
Go for
it. I read somewhere, it's just so much reading, somewhere that when the proposal generates the product that it comes up with, it's because they know the inventory that we have, and that we're not supposed to really mess with it, right? Is that how it is? Because I had one of my contracts that it turned out that they're low on inventory for those. I'm not sure if it was the inverters or which part of it was. I think it was the panels that we chose. So I'm like trying to figure that part out. If we edit it, well, as a mentor, right? Or if we just go with whatever is auto populated as far as the panels and the inverters.
Great question. And I think every mentor's gonna be a little bit different. I leave mine at default until I have that needs analysis, and then I can really marry it, whether microinverters are important, if we're going to go battery. But yes, you can change it. I think that was probably just a fluke that we happen to be low there. But that's part of the beauty of our ecosystem. And that, honestly, anyone that's want to deal with me, you guys know I preach that. We are not a mom and pop shop coming to your house with just one panel. We have the best relationships with all top tier manufacturers, so that I can build a system with you today, and you'll see their guard come down. Like they are excited about it. So yeah, hopefully that was just a fluke for you, but great question. Jabbar?
Yeah, I was going to also follow up. Rosario, are you speaking on a project in Texas, or what state is that?
Yeah, it is in Texas.
Yeah, so there are panel selections or swap outs that are happening in certain markets. So yeah, if that's happened, I'm assuming you're talking about a project that's been sold. So
yes.
If that's okay, yeah. So if that's already been sold and there's some inventory issue, then that's like a one-off situation where the PM will let you know, hey, I know you sold it with this panel, but for this market, we're moving to this panel. So let the PM kind of help you with that. But typically, yes, what Aaron was saying, when we do a new design, we can kind of leave that on whatever is selected as a default. Most buyers, most homeowners don't really understand the different types of panels. But if we did have a savvy buyer that was like, I know I want Hanwha Q-Cell 400 because I did all my research, cool. We go in and we show them, yes, we can select that for you if it's available in their market. But for the most part, we leave it alone unless the customer is asking for a preference.
Love it. Joe, I'll come to you one second. Absolutely, great question. One other thing I want to say too, so Chris and I, we debrief every single day at the end of it, usually late at night, after we run the proposal for the day. And one thing that has come up over the last 2 weeks, or has not come up, I should say, is no mentee coming off mute and adding language. And can we talk about that? Can we change that? I know it sounds minor, but that is huge. So big. And I just want to applaud each and every one of you that run deals over the last 2 weeks, because that is massive. And there are a lot of people across the country and other teams messing that up. And some of those mess ups you can't recover from. So once again, after you introduce the mentor, push mute, have fun, you will know if the mentor needs a comment and they'll call on you. But once again, I applaud you guys for doing that because you're crushing it. Joe, go ahead.
Hey, this is Joe Welch, Massachusetts, Tier 1. So my question is actually about the bigger picture flow. I've never worked in an industry that does this level of commission, income, exchange, and so what I'm looking for some guidance also about, like, how we're communicating, how often do you send a gift? Like, this is outside of my realm. And so thank you note, like, it just feels like there should be something more, and I don't even have a beginning understanding of what would be proper etiquette to keep that relationship going.
Yeah, so we're all independent contractors. So just like in real estate, everybody has a different answer for that. I love the notes. I love the gifts. Anything you want to do like that, it would be up to you on how you want to run it. We could definitely, mastermind that topic at a later date, because I think it's a great one. One thing we want to be careful of, and this has come up recently, at least on some of my deals, and I'm sure it has for other mentors, is I love communication, especially from the contract being signed until install, but we got to be careful. We don't want to over suggest ideas. And I've had that come up a lot recently, where once again, the recovery on some of the statements that some of us are making are just very, very tough. I know that wasn't her point, but yeah, I think, doing a thank you note. I know Chris and I have been experimenting with some of the marketing boost material where you can give away, like a hotel card. It doesn't cost much, and other things like that. Just little items of value is what we call it. I think goes a long way. I know, who was that, Chris? I think it was one you did. John Bobness, famous for this. The dude nails thank you cards better than anyone I've ever met. Like, that's my weakness. He does it just for someone hopping on a Zoom. That thank you card is in the mail that day. Joe, thank you so much for hopping on there. We appreciate you spending the last hour with us. I can't wait to take you on this journey, whatever he says. But that's a cool touch. That separates you from the masses if they're talking or interviewing to anyone else. So yeah, I think the more of us start to do those things, just coming together and sharing what worked, what you got good feedback on, I think would be really, really powerful. Cool. What else we got, guys? Any topic? Recruiting, lending, you got stuck?
Hey, I'll throw something out there. I just did the roofing certification this weekend. Highly recommend that, guys. Highly recommend going through that. There's some really great content in there. It'll probably take you about an hour and a half if you just kind of go through it all at once. But the information is really important to understand, because obviously it's something that you will deal with. So to have a understanding of that when people have a concern about their roof, I think it's good, valuable information. So definitely consider doing that. Great
point. And then tier 2 that was released a couple days ago. I got a lot of messages from people thinking they popped tier 2, which I wish was the case for everybody. That is a certification. They are going to be making that change officially, I think, Wednesday. So you guys are hearing it first. In order to go tier 2, the tier 2 cert does have to be done. So even if they didn't do that, to Chris's point, the knowledge there, guys, it's world class, like world class. I was on a huge call earlier with the creator of that course said, if you go through tier 1, tier 2, you would pass any solar exam across this country, like hands down. It's right in front of us. It is free. Yes, it takes time away from Netflix, from the kids, from dinner. I get it. I struggle with it too. It's a business. We got to lean in on that and take that training. Take the training. All right, what else we got?
So as far as that new tier 2, do you wait till you have your 3 deals, or can you start?
No, is it unlocked for your account?
I haven't even looked yet.
Yeah, so I thought it was just going to be for tier 2s. It looks like they released it to tier 1s as well. I would take it now. 100% take it now. I would take the roofing course. Those are the 2 big blocks based on what I've seen right now that will get a lot of people through a lot of this. It'll just raise the bar. We'll know exactly what the steps are, what's needed, what's required, how things work. It doesn't have to be like the tier 2. It looks like it's going to be a 3-hour course, at least on my end. Maybe a little bit slower than most, but you can do it in bite-sized chunks.
It was talking about 6 to 8 hours.
It could be. I mean, the pace I'm going, it didn't look like that. Maybe they get longer as you go. But so far I've been blown away. Chris and I were able to, I think Jabari too, beta tested a little bit. Really, really intuitive class. So I would time block it, lean in.
Yeah, I took the roofing as soon as it came out.
Okay, awesome. And by the way, it's a lot of stuff too. It's not just one and done. It's constantly changing. Here in Virginia, we were able to get roof contracts outside of power. We can't anymore. They made a change. And I love it. It's always piecing that puzzle together, but it's staying in the loop so that these trainings are a great resource for that as well. I'll share one about speed. I don't see her on here. Katie's been talking to a solar pro. It has some good engagement. I don't want to speak too much for it. Good engagement. Weren't able to get it completely moved down the field at all, right? But she did touch base with him again today. And this gentleman is now already in conversations with another power seller. And I know we all know that, but this is real life, my friends, like real life. If you're not going to talk to somebody that you know in your database, someone else will. Like we are at that tipping point, where it happens. I have people on my team right now that I have personally recruited who knew each other, and they're much better friends than I was with the second person. Like I had no idea. Like it's going to happen. And that part's only going to get worse. And I say that not to scare anybody to come from scarcity, but have those conversations. The great thing Katie did though, have you signed with that person? She said no. She's like, awesome. We still need to stay in conversation. So we're gonna link up and have a talk. But definitely do not go slow on this, guys. Do not do it. What else we got?
Hey, Aaron, Patrick here. Can you highlight or share some light on the FlexPay for me, please?
Yeah, Jabari or Chris, I know both of you guys love the FlexPay. One of you.
Oh, yes. I wouldn't say I love it, but customers do. There are some customers. So what you'll start to realize, guys, is that you have different tiers of customers. You got customers that don't have a clue about financing. You got customers that are in the middle. And then you got customers that really kind of only want a low monthly payment as opposed to the loan amount, which is kind of weird to me, but that's kind of how some buyers are. So in some cases, you have a flex pay option where the monthly payment is really low. It's interest only for either 18 months or 36 months. And then after that period, then you start paying the full principal and interest. So in some cases, the monthly payment might be $85, right? So if I really want to start off a presentation with an attractive monthly payment, let's say their electric bill is already pretty low, it's $150. And let's say if we did a standard non-flex pay financing, we're close to like 140. So it doesn't look very attractive to show 150 now, 140 with solar. That's when you could kind of throw up a flex pay and show $80 as a monthly payment, and then explain to them that, hey, this is an introductory low rate for the first 18 months. Once you get that tax return, that income tax credit from the IRS, you can roll that into the loan and your payments only go up to this amount. So it just kind of depends on the buyer if that's attractive to them. Some go for it and some are like, nah, I don't like it going up. They kind of feel like it's an ARM type of a mortgage, which it's not, but that's kind of that's the feeling they get in some cases. But every buyer is different.
Hey, Jabari, I have a question on that loan.
Yes, sir.
If you got a guy who's got the attitude like, hey, that sounds good. So can I make some big payments against like $500 a month? And then I get a little short. Does my minimum payment go down because I whacked the principal down like after 6 months of those payments, or it still stays the same?
Yeah, the amortization only changes with GoodLeap if you make a payment that's $2,500 or more.
One payment, one time.
One payment.
Lump, yeah.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think you could do like 6 payments of $500. That doesn't count.
Yeah,
All right. Well,
in that
that's
particular
good.
case,
I'm glad I know that.
in that particular case, Mitch, what I would encourage the person is rather than make, overinflated payments, that you take that extra money, put it off to the side, and accumulate that into a larger payment that you pay towards reamortization
Right.
of
Or
the
make the
loan.
minimum payment.
Correct. You make the regular payments, but the other cool part about FlexPay is it also allows you the opportunity to roll it into a refinance with your mortgage loan as well. Okay, it allows you to combine solar and mortgage loan into one monthly payment. So you can actually refinance your house and your mortgage loan into one product through GoodLeap. So that's another good thing about the FlexPay. But here's what I'll tell you guys. A lot of this stuff, guys, is in knowledge base. So just make sure that, it's great that we're looking at this information together as a team, but during the week and, throughout the day and whatnot, if you have an interest or curious about, hey, what is that FlexPay all about? This stuff is all like, they have one sheets and whatnot in knowledge base that are really good for you. Just make sure that if it says this is not customer facing, that you're not presenting that to your customers. Okay, so that's important to know, because there is a lot of finance information that is for our knowledge that they ask you, this is not customer facing.
All right, I got a finance question. You have a customer who's like, yeah, in about next year or the year after, I'm going to refinance the house. I want to roll it in. I don't mind making a larger payment now. And so can you give them, what's the interest rate if there is no dealer fee? What's the best bank to go with? With the cheapest interest rate with no dealer fee? What would that interest rate be?
Right now it's Mosaic 6.29,
Okay.
25-year. It's as close to a cash option as possible.
Chris, I'm sorry, I want to be crystal clear on this because he said no dealer fee. Chris just answered that correctly. It's as close to cash as you can get using financing.
Yep.
Still not cash.
So there is a dealer fee there?
Yes.
Small.
How much of a
very
dealer
small.
fee is there?
It's like, I think it's 2.5%.
Yeah,
All
it
right.
used to be zero.
It's
now
getting a
it's
lot
small.
less. All
Yeah.
right.
Great question. Okay, what other topics we got, guys? Once again, we get off lending. I want to make sure we're appealing to everybody. Anything
So-
recruiting? Go ahead.
Going back to what Chris just said about doing a refi and lumping them together, do we have any idea what these rates look like with them? Because I've never heard that they do a mortgage prior to just now.
Yeah, GoodLeap does have an option to, they actually have a mortgage department, so they can look at refinancing. But obviously mortgage rates are high, so I haven't personally dealt with it yet. I know my dad told me GoodLeap reached out to him and said, hey, we can offer you this option. So we kind of might have to be guinea pigs and find out what is the rate. If you do that, we could figure it out. But I usually just offer it to the customer. Hey, you have options on assuming the loan to a future buyer. You have options to refinance the loan into the mortgage. You have options to pay it off early. There's no prepayment penalty. So we're really just trying to give them a big picture view that you have options. You're not locked into any payment. You're not locked into something that you don't want to do. That's
The
really all.
interesting thing. Good stuff. The interesting thing here too, I see Ray and Terry and a lot of agents from our team on here. It's a delicate dance, right? When you're talking to a client, because we're not lenders. I'm gonna be crystal
Right.
clear on that. And if people are getting way lost in that, trying to that is not our job. We're not qualified. We did not take the certification to do that. So we're trying to educate, but also give them the information so that they can research themselves if that's info or something they need. So I want to be crystal clear on that. Like we're not CPAs. If anyone's done a presentation, how many times do I say that on the call? It is a hold harmless statement. I'm letting people know. So we're constantly dancing and trying to give them as much information as we can without getting ourselves in trouble at all. What else we got? Great questions, by the way, so far.
Somebody
Anything?
ask Aaron a question on recruiting.
Someone, please, enterprise, something.
Yes,
Get me back
yes.
to my wheelhouse.
Less
Wants to
technical
talk
questions,
about
yeah.
Please, somebody ask him a question on recruiting.
Thank you, man.
Keep
Well,
it
he
simple.
said enterprise. I want to hear about it because I want to go do what Bryce did. So let's go. A 5-minute overview.
I can't do a 5-minute overview. I would definitely go to whatismyredline.com, start there. And by the way, Bryce was a great student because he hit me up about this guy about a month ago. It wasn't tough love, but I just said, Bryce, look, honestly, I'm gonna get you in the right place, but you have to start here so that you have a base knowledge. And that is whatismyredline.com. If someone can throw it in the chat, there are 4 or 5 videos there. If you are serious about talking to solar pros, and I see a couple of mine on here, Toby's another one. Super excited to have you on here, brother. But yeah, that is a great place to start. There's going to be a lot of information there. We have 2 main accounts that you'll see. It's Enterprise. I call it regular, and that's probably the worst marketing.
Yeah, just Enterprise and Enterprise Pro. But I guess, is it only because I was in there and a knowledge base? But
Yep.
it also sounds like it's for professional sales teams and stuff too, not necessarily people that are solar.
Correct.
Pros?
Yeah. So most solar pros, if you're talking to them and they have a team, that's something they're going to want. If they're just them running by themselves, they don't need it. For instance, I do have Enterprise Pro. I want to build a sales organization. So I don't have the solar pro knowledge like Toby or Mitch, but I love building things. And so the Enterprise Pro is a really cool thing. And it's not a sales pitch. You don't need to go out and spend $350, $375, whatever it is now. But there's some awesome things. Like you can bring on a closer. If you're really good at setting appointments, you're really good at mentoring, you want to bring on a lead gen person, a door knocker, you can bring them into your ecosystem, into your world. That's why I said primarily it is for solar pros, because that's what they're doing, but it's really for any builder that wants to build a massive organization. You can do it in that ecosystem.
But to bring on an existing organization that's already doing solar, we just basically onboard them into the Power platform with Enterprise Pro, and now we're sitting on top of all of that.
Correct.
business.
Depending on their level and what they want to do, because most solar pros are individuals. Let's be crystal clear, just like real estate agents. Only a few actually have teams and lead generators and all admin and all the other stuff. That's where you would want to start having that enterprise conversation. It can be upgraded or downgraded at any time. I applaud them for doing that. Like I had enterprise really shortly after coming. I didn't touch a single button in it, so I canceled it after 30 days. Really cool.
So what was Bryce's thing then? It is an existing solar company, because you said they do 1,000 installs a year.
Yeah. So for instance, that gentleman has 65 installers on his team. He has a couple hundred lead geners, like a massive organization. And so they want to come into enterprise because they can set their own splits. They're running a company. So they can give their lead geners their admin. So it's in their account. They can set it that they're on a 5% split, a 10% split. You can have an admin file that oversees everything. Just really cool on how that works.
And they're gonna leave everything that they've been doing and then use Power stuff now with installers.
They're going to stay with commercial. I don't want to get too lost next. It doesn't apply to everyone here. They're going to keep their commercial company separate. They're opening their residential division with us here at Power. Yep. By the way, what is my red line?
So that's just like a roofing company that wants to, it's just
Yeah.
that we want to bring on board, and now they can say to all their clients, we now do solar.
Yes and no. So the only reason, in my opinion, you would want
That's the
enterprise is if they're bringing over staff. If they're just coming over just because they're selling roof and they're going to refer you to go close it, they can do the regular one and be a regular tier one. It's really a staff play. If they're bringing over a team, they want to build an organization, they want to control margins inside. That's where you would need that.
Right.
Yep. But it's awesome that they're building this stuff out, guys. Like that is huge. Margins also get higher. Once you close a certain number of deals in Enterprise Pro, instead of going from 70, you go to 72, 75, 80. Really important stuff at what's my red line for those that are going to talk to solar pros. What else we got? We got time for a few more. Come on. Could be anything.
Okay, I just actually got two bills. So they actually have multiple, it's not multiple properties per se, but there's two different meters. So how do I upload that?
Is it one property that has 2 meters, or is it like a barn and a house that has what's the setup?
So the meter number 1 is assigned to the main house and garage, and meter number 2 is like the barn. It was set up to be like an outbuilding, to be a rental, but then they just kept it private.
Yeah, that's fine. We do those all the time. So you can just upload it like it's a regular single meter project, and the mentor will know how to aggregate the two.
Congrats on that, by the way.
Congrats.
Second comment today.
See, you're getting comfortable now, Katie.
You guys can love my post and I'll love back.
Yeah. But see, you're getting comfortable with that posture of just getting the bill now. That's the most important thing.
But
Amen. Amen.
I'm going to touch on that again too. And this is for the recruiting side. When she hit me this morning, it was over text. I don't know the true emotion, right? But the way I was reading it, she was distraught that someone she had been talking to for a month.
Oh, I was crying.
See, is now talking to someone else. And you guys know what I said, right? I'm sure over text it's even worse. But I said, grab your posture, Get on the phone with him, her, whoever, and say that you are a part of the #1 fastest growing team in all of power. Like you do not make a mistake joining somewhere else. And I know this is recorded. I'll put it on YouTube. I'll get a hand slap. I don't care. But it's the truth. I have that posture. You're joining a winning organization. Like 100%. Just because someone's talking to someone else, that does not bother us. Let's have we're not here to poach, right? But she obviously had that conversation first, so we can lead with integrity. But 100%, our job is to let them know what they get when they plug into our ecosystem. No one else can match it.
Same thing with homeowners, guys. I get excited when a homeowner has a quote from competition. I get excited. I'm like, let's go. Let's give me that quote. Let's go side by side. Let me show you how I blow them away. That confidence and that posture always has to be consistent, guys. Don't get lost in the sauce trying to understand interest rates and inverters and panels. Have the confidence to get the bill and have the confidence in the posture that we are the best. Why would you want to go with Sunrun? What kind of warranty are they going to give you? Your roof might have a leak in 10 years. Then what? What are you going to do? Put that fear into their minds, and then you'll close a lot more deals, guys. It's all about posture and confidence. That's it.
Yeah, I was on a call with someone from corporate today, Terry. I'll come right back to you. And he said, and I knew it, but just I wanted to hear it confirmed, that there is no other company in North America that the 3 main panels that we get, the Q cells, the Canadian, and the RECs, that can get them at a cheaper price than us. He said, hands down, there's no other company. He was like, no one can touch our volume. He was like, we are the premier account holder for every one of those. They come to us first every single time there's supply chain issues. And that one thing, my posture, I already have, but I went through the roof. I'm now 6'1". Like I started saying it, I was like, that is awesome. Not only for recruiting, when I'm talking to someone like Toby, who kills it in the Carolinas, that company, his other company can't touch that. Like that is posture, but also to the homeowner. Love that, man. What else we got? We got time for a few more. Terry, you were saying something, I cut you off. No? Okay. Ray's quiet. What else we got, guys? We don't have to stay on if nobody needs anything. We can use the lottery of time.
Maybe we should hear from the Solar Pro Toby and how he's built his business.
Toby, are you in a place where you can talk about your background and what you've done prior to, he just came on, by the way, so not here yet, but you can talk about what you did and everything else. There you go.
Not really right this minute. Just
okay, no worries. No worries.
Give me a little bit longer.
Yeah. Absolute stud, I will tell you that. All right, what else, guys?
Hi, Aaron. This is Kenny. I'm a couple of days in. The question I have is relative to the resident. So this is just residential based.
Yep.
Platform.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. There is no timetable on commercial. I have heard whispers from people way up that I respect, who have said that they believe something is coming next year. Don't hold me to it. It's not in writing anywhere. Wow. Yeah, someone way up, which would be freaking.
So when you say residential, you don't mean that includes apartment complexes, correct?
No. Nope.
Have to own the property.
Yeah, it has to be fee simple is the simple language that most states are going to use. If it's a cooperative or condo ownership, cannot be done.
Okay.
Because they share the great question, by the way. They share the exterior of the house. By the way, when I'm in bill collecting modes, right? I don't even look at those questions. I don't even ask. I'm just collecting bills and I figure it out later. Like just because you get so lost in that. Let me go to Zillow, look that up before I message them. Not saying anyone would do that, but I've seen it happen. I collect the bills and then I plug it. Oh, bummer. We don't filter there, and then I'll go back. But yeah, just keep your head down, keep doing it.
You know, one reason that Power is able to offer great pricing is because they're streamlined and the residential market is huge, but it's simple. You get into commercial, there's a lot of complexities, and that's really just going to raise the overhead of the company to go in that direction.
Great point, Mitch. I never thought about it like that. I know a lot of agents on this call, and I think I can speak for all of us. I've never sold a commercial property or anything. I'm a big believer of keeping your head down, staying in your lane. So even if it opens, will I build a commercial division? 100%. Meaning I'll go find someone who's smarter than me to do it. Like, yes. And I encourage that. But I'm staying with my head down. I got to master this thing before I even take my eye and start adding things. So I would be careful of that when they do open it. Yeah, it's huge. What else we got? time for two more.
Aaron, I have a question. So if we collect a bill and you realize that it's a commercial, do you have anywhere we can send it to, somebody that's handling commercial? Or we just kind of,
Great question. Yeah, so I am a big believer if I'm going to give something to somebody, especially business wise, we got to have some sort of conversation, like the law of reciprocity. Nothing illegal, by the way. I know someone's probably thinking something bad, but what I would do for that case, I haven't had that come up. Whatever state they're in, I would go to Facebook, try to find a commercial solar person, get on the phone, have a relationship. The first question I would ask, and I'm just making this up on the fly, is do you service residential? If they do, next. I want someone that only does commercial, and I could say, hey, Ray, quick question, man. I talk to a lot of people, man. I work with the #1 company in North America for residential solar. I don't have a commercial person like you that I know, that I like, that I can trust with my referrals. If I were to bless you with these, do you already have a person you're sending your residential referrals? If they say no, that's the conversation, because now you're going to bless them and they're blessing you back. Anytime you have a referral, guys, it doesn't have to be cash. It could be big vision, big picture. Ask if they have a residential partner and or if they service residential. If they do, next.
got it, thank you.
Absolutely. Great question. Time for one more.
I want to just piggyback on that one. So I know a guy who owns a company that does both residential and commercial. I can send him the commercial business if he wants to have his own financial arrangement with me that doesn't interfere with anything else I'm doing, because I'm an independent contractor, correct?
You're trying to put me on the spot. You have to be very careful. It doesn't affect with powers rules. You're not changing comp plans or anything. We are not under RESPA, so take that for what it is. If you had some other, yeah, I mean, just like the ambassador program, we pay
if I send him a commercial deal and he pay and he gives me a finder's fee or whatever, that doesn't interfere with what I'm doing.
No, my stand, no, it does not. It's just like the ambassador thing. It's not like real estate. Yep. But I think a lot of times people give away referrals. Don't just give away referrals. get something back. It's a lot.
Money.
Finder's fee or a commission split.
Yep.
Speaking my language.
All right, cool. And someone doesn't have anything else, we're up against it. All right, you guys know the schedule tonight, Spanish speaking only. If you know anybody who speaks Spanish, definitely get them on there. They only do that call, I think, once every 60 days or so. So it's not very often. And then the big one is Wednesday. I think it's 10 to 4 or what is that? 8 to 12, 9 to 12. Don't hold me to it, but it's the masterclass, everything lending. Really, really important topic right now, my friends. So please do everything you can to be on it for the whole time. Part of it, anything you can do to gain knowledge is huge. If you guys need anything, as always, reach out. We're here to serve. Have a great rest of the day.
Aaron, I have a quick request from you. If you got somebody who's bilingual who could put on solar icons a Spanish invitation that I could text out to people I know who primarily speak Spanish, because if I
that is not an ask of me, obviously. That is an ask of anybody else on this call. I don't know if Rosario could help.
Well, Mitch, just I was gonna say, Mitch, put that as a post on Solar Icons. Someone on our page will respond.
It's a great tip.
Maybe one of you, but just post it on Solar Icon. But I'll put
say,
it on
hey,
Solar.
what's
I'll
a
put the
good
request on
invitation?
Solar Icon.
Love it.
Yeah,
all right, guys, take
will.
care.
Aaron, can I have you for a minute?
I have to check. I'll text you.
All right, bye.
Okay, bye.
And I need to speak to you too, Aaron.
All right, bye, guys.
I need to